Africa Media. For news and entertainment, TDN gets the latest. TDN Africa Media.
Good morning to you and a warm welcome to the program Salon Talk on TDN Africa Media. Thank you for joining me wherever you watch me from. Mina Diana Kuga.
And me not Theophilus Gbenda.
TDN Africa Media.
Inside this edition of Salon Talk, as always, we will bring you the headlines on the front page of some of the dailies then. And the 2023-2024 school year begins today. School not open after a long break since June. The government of SALONE for engage the US government on the way forward regarding the visa ban. And President Bio and delegation do depart SALONE on Sunday for Nairobi. This and more we will discuss inside the program today. Continue for stay with me.
Okay. Well, of course, we will start with the front pages of the newspapers then. Some of them will get now in the studio. We will start with the Calabash newspaper. It says Sludge IMC hold discussions with President Bio on vital state issues. Government remains committed to engage in dialogue with United States. Damning reports on green belts and forest reserve encroachments presented to President Bio. Then we take another one when the indigenous newspaper, They say the indigenous newspaper celebrates 3rd anniversary. Then Leon Rock Metal Group stands tall in exportation. Massive increase in the pump price burdens economic hardship. US government slams visa ban on election fraudsters. Then Concord Times newspaper neglects over 15 health workers suspended. Aisha Johansson invited to London Fashion Week. We take the other headline on the Freedom Post. It says ACC initiates probe into SLBC's alleged billion gate scam. Then the other one say trader receives 12-year sentence for manslaughter. Then again on the Freedom Post, it says MCC to decide on Sierra Leone's compact next Wednesday. The Source newspaper, US visa restriction, panic and fear grip enablers. Sludge pays civility call on President Bio. Then this one say unlawful possession of Kush, magistrate remands 10. President Bio received fact-finding reports. Okay, we go to the Heroes newspaper. The Heroes newspaper, as Jamal Lambert and partners file lawsuit against citizens over fake biometric passports. And then I was taking back. He said, in court today, Django, Sam, and partners defend the people as Jamal, Lambert, and partners file lawsuit against citizens over fake biometric passports. Then we will take the other newspaper. When at the Trumpet newspaper, the Trumpet newspaper say SEC engages banking sector to combat corruption. Then again, they say women's cricket team beats farewell. And then again on the Trumpet newspaper, it says Kush, the fast-running plague. Then you get the Expo Times Gazette. Visa restriction is not against the people and government of Sierra Leone. I read that again. Visa restriction is not against government. Visa restriction is not against the people and government of Sierra Leone, quoting U.S. Embassy. Then this other one say, court sends mother to 24-year jail for dumping baby in pit toilet. Then this one say, August 10 riot victim cries for help. Another one say, First Lady addresses leaders on human trafficking. And then again on the Expo Times, it said Chief Minister announces digital attendance technology, which is good. Then the other one say presidential candidates congratulate President Bio on re-election. We take another one on the Nation newspaper. U.S. sanctions a big bully. Again on the same newspaper, Sierra Leone leads digital advertisements. And then I think the second to last, why SEC engages banking sector. Then Kush, fast-running plague of addiction. All right, you get the Guardian newspaper. Over busier appointments, Sierra Leoneans critique President Bill. Then Musa Tombo topsy-turvy situation. Then Chief Minister challenges SLCS. All right, we take another one on the same newspaper. It says NRA Commissioner General engages financial institutions. Don't be afraid of those who put you in the fire. All right, well, the Voice of SALONE newspaper say land corruption at Toke as Lands Minister robbed Peter to pay Paul. Another one say on enemies of democracy to face another setback. The headlines are fearful. The Premier News, government to engage United States on visa restriction. Then President Bill reiterates commitment to constitutional review. President reiterates commitment to constitutional review. Then trader sentenced to 12 years for killing woman. Trader sentenced to 12 years for killing woman. Wow. The success newspaper say visa registration to be followed by seizure of assets abroad. This is here, so visa restrictions to be followed by seizure of assets abroad, but this is also that the reporter the assumption. The other one say NRA Commissioner General comments the hour. All right. Behind those alleged accusations of the SLPP, behind those alleged accusations of the SLBC Director General. So I think there are so many allegations to be investigated. But we'll take the last newspaper, when at the Space newspaper, Sludge hails President Bio's support to media. Then over President Bio's democratic credentials, UN Secretary General hails Sierra Leone. So then I will start with you for the review. I think we'll start with this very last newspaper, because this guy for do with you directly, Sludge. It says Sludge hails President Bio's support to the media. Because the news from began to go out now that Sludge go congratulate President Bio on an election victory. What do you think?
Well, according to the Deputy Minister of Information, from him post where he do, now that he said the President of Sludge formally congratulated His Excellency the President on his re-election.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow.
And commended him for the extraordinary achievements on the media landscape in the last 5 years. His Excellency the President reaffirmed his commitment to continue strengthening press freedom and called for more professionalism.
Wow.
So this is a comment from the Deputy Minister.
The Deputy Minister of Information.
Yes, because assisting
So,
they all accompany this large team
all right.
to go see the President.
So, well, what me will say to this is that, one, it will be very surprising if it is coming at a time like this. And then two, we will need to do fact check whether indeed Naso the Sludge, that was the reason for Sludge being at State House. Yes, that is what I will say. Because you see, what in the paper say here, Sludge hails President Bio's support to the media. And you know, for saying President Bio don't do so much for the media. One, the repeal of the 1965 Public Order Act, where the APC regime took out President Nkrumah in time where even before he go to press na State House, and a big campaign promise, say when I come, and they come expunge this particular law. 11 years down the road, he failed to do that. President Bio come, he take care of that. Big commendation to him. Secondly, Sludge be the struggle for even get money for pay rent, because Sludge be the get subvention, and the source of income for Sludge be so limited to just membership registration. When President Bio come, he begin give money to Sludge. Now Sludge, I can say, is up and running. Sludge not again for go big Mercury or for go big other business entities for Hector for parents. Sludge cannot pay its own rent. President Bio make that possible. Right? But what me gonna be surprised at, if Sludge before for congratulate President Bio, why now? Well, if they want to do it before, that is up to their executive level. It is up to their executive level, right? But coming at a time like this, especially coinciding with this visa ban and all of that, for me, I need to talk to the president for say, well, now so indeed you go talk. I want to listen to the recording.
Well, it's very unfortunate that we don't listen to directly and get them from the horse's mouth. So people that don't misconstrue the statement a lot, because I see a lot of bashing on social media, you know, especially directed to the president. I mean,
of course, right? Of course, yeah.
Yes, you know, which I see is very unfortunate.
No, it's not unfortunate if that is the case.
Well, we don't know the purpose of his visit.
No, but you just read for me what
according to
deputy minister say
specific purpose. Maybe so, on that note, it takes the opportunity for congratulate them. But maybe they get a purpose when they go see his.
Well, like I say, we need to get
which not very clear to me.
We need to get her from the horse's mouth.
Exactly.
Let Monk say indeed they go. By the way, it is the right as executive of Sludge. If they want to go to that, fine. If they say they go to congratulate the president on the re-election, it's up to the executive. The executive imposition.
And as you said, we don't talk about President Bio don't do a lot for the media.
Oh yes, of course. We very appreciate President Bio.
Well, you talk about the subvention.
You can't compare him.
The subvention where they kind of for Sludge, you know, at least that they don't push their situation.
You can't compare President Bio to any other president. No, let me tell you now. I'm telling you now. You can't compare President Bio achievement towards press freedom to any other president where this country ever gets. I give that accolade to President Bio. But for Sludge, for God congratulate him at a time like this, I am totally against it, and I'll be so surprised if indeed that's what it happened. It will be, it will be surprising.
I'm a little bit constrained to discuss this issue because I need to get more information on the purpose of the visit.
I agree with you.
I think we will really need that for final.
Let us do a call to Monk immediately this program ends. He is our president. He is answerable to us. As this program they done at the column, I ask
that is what we should have done before.
I say this is what we have. No, if not this we will not see before. If I will not see this before, we will not send them to our force and ask them. Why also? Because you see, Malek Keketuma Sandy, he is looking more at the political side of governance.
Exactly.
Because he has been a major beneficiary. And they are looking for everything possible, anything that can just legitimize the questions around the victory of the current regime. So that's the problem. So maybe this is one of the exploits to seek legitimization or recognition to an extent of even putting words in somebody's mouths. So if somebody bash at this flag president for doing this as claimed by the deputy minister, then I support that person. I support the person. 100% I support the person. And if more time before me, sometimes I go tell the same thing.
Okay.
Oh yes, he's my president. We not to matter be like president we get to when you go face, he will sack you. My president cannot sack me. He will always say, hey, I'm very sorry. I said, no, this is not so. It's very serious matter. Anyway, I know Monk will not do that kind of thing. Anyway, so you pick up another thing at the super headlines, please, before we go to the main issues of discussion.
I think a massive increase in pump price. Last Friday, they around some areas, there are speculations that they expect the fuel price will go up. Which for me, if the fuel price increase more, it's going to be more problem. It will be very difficult for people, because now transportation costs don't go up. Very short distance, you have to pay something like 7,000 to 8,000 loans. So just imagine when the area, some people they say 35, if you go to 35, some they say 38. Any rumor, there must be some amount of truth behind that. But let's wait and see. Yeah. But we the hope say what happened. Honestly. Okay. And no one make this fuel price.
So it means if it happen, you will be pleasantly surprised.
Honestly, I think the government need for this one. They need for step in at this particular.
You remember the last time where we talk about this fuel? I tell you say, as long as government don't put subsidies, it means to say it don't liberalize the fuel marketing sector to an extent that the fuel dealers cannot dictate to government that next week we want to start to sell at this price, and the government can only go and beg them, but it cannot stop them.
Well, I think say they need to go beg them.
Well, not to beg. Government not to go beg. No, well,
even for remedy this situation, let them go to and beg them.
That will be too humiliating for a whole government go to. That is why the government should have a foothold over the business. By removing all subsidies, government lost all legitimacy, all control over the sector insofar as determining price is concerned. So that is the point I'm saying.
Exactly, because I could recall say there was a time where they were engaged before they determine the price. The oil marketers, they come and put price to. They therefore sit down with government and decide on the price before and they change the price. Yeah. But now it's really getting out of hands.
Okay. So what do you think about this one, Super? The nation, let's say US sanctions, a big bully. If it's an advantage, yes, they seize power.
I don't think it's an advantage at all. They will make them very clear, and the governments know the condition where they be them. So therefore we don't work towards that condition. Do a fair election. Up till now, we not see the data yet. ACSL not able to produce data since June after the election.
Wallahi.
There's people really they will not know what's the problem with ACSL if they don't get the capacity for do their job. I don't think say the data for take ACSL more than 2 months for release.
No, 2 months. Let's say 2 weeks. You don't remember now 2 weeks for release. 2 weeks. Because they have all the figures in front of you. You have all the figures in front of you. All you need to do is to put them in a table, say this police station 001 or 005, now this commodity. Inside this district, now this commodity. Karine, SAP, now this they get. Poloko, now this they get. APC, Isabel, now this they get. That is all what it is required to be done. So that I make, even when anyway we'll come to that, because when the government said they have to engage the US government we don't make imposition known already. Get ECSL to release the disaggregated data of votes by polling station and by district, and we are fine. ECSL has not found pleasure in doing that, because how will they manage the figures?
Whatever way they keep
it can't be whatever way, because you know, say that document they get for fiscal serious critique. Serious critique. So you cannot just throw figures at people.
We know say other players they get the RFM form.
Yep.
They know the figures then when they come on at the different sectors.
Exactly.
As you always mention, but what's it?
From 9,000 to 19,000. But how can that be? How can that be, Diana?
This is like broad daylight robbery.
Is that true? But I believe my background. I believe him, no so.
Of course. As a member of parliament, I don't think they will watch it.
It will be true.
The captain said that one of the members.
And if we produce the RF form, or even the SLP party agents, they sign up. Now 9,000 vote SLP get. By the time he says they announced now 19,000. Even can you imagine? And they take a bill. So you say you call that daylight robbery?
Honestly, now what you say, yeah, consumer could do that.
It is you. Anyway, it's a very serious
there was
matter.
another neglect over say 15 health workers suspended. We'll not get.
Well, yes, we'll not get the details. Unfortunately, neglect 15 health workers suspended. We will find the details. We'll bring a come to the viewers. Then definitely. Then you are assured. Right.
There's also the issue of this probe into SLBC.
Oh yes, well yeah, it's a very serious matter. You see, they say, and I see that young man in picture. I see we brother in picture at the front page. The SLBC Director General, the youngest ever. I mean, but don't seem for they get some serious challenges. I see the Freedom Post newspaper, one of the most credible newspapers you can find in town. It says ACC initiates probe into SLBC's alleged billion gate scandal. This is very serious.
Well, we just hope that anti-corruption will come out and make the public understand really what they investigate.
Okay.
Because I'm not feeling that one green will get access to money in the SLBC.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I wish we were able to just read small of them. Okay, let me see if I can read small thing of fire. It said the Anti-Corruption Commission is investigating the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation for alleged misappropriation of funds and revenues. Patrick Sandy, head of ACC's Public Education and External Outreach Department, told Freedom Post on Friday that they have served notices to the SLBC's management to produce documents and other relevant information for the investigation. Sandy added that the SLBC top management are the subject of the investigation. China, Minister of Information and Civic Education, responded to a text message inquiry about the allegations by saying that they held a town hall meeting at the SLBC last Tuesday to openly discuss the issues, following by a closed-door meeting with the senior staff of the institution. However, due to the lack of clarity fueled by allegations and counter-allegations among senior staff of the institution, coupled with the underlying problem of low staff morale, Minister Bass said he had reached out to the ACC to conduct a forensic audit of the SLBC accounts. The Anti-Corruption Commission refused to comment on the amount of money that was allegedly misappropriated, but outside sources have suggested that it could be more than 1 billion onions. Social media has also been, and this is not too clear, with the issue, with the okay, I see this other side not too clear anyway. But anyway, you don't get the details.
So this, the focus don't be on the Director General
and other top staff,
senior staff,
but now na finger pointing.
Exactly.
So not to me, now you, not to me, now Diana. Diana said no, Diana, not you.
So blame game they on right now.
I know that is
I think so they were able for investigate and know exactly what's going on.
All right. We hope so.
Okay.
All right, so I think so we can now go.
So before we close down,
right.
I will just touch on NIA Commissioner General. They don't engage financial institution. I think the motive, I forget them for cooperate with the government. I want to believe so. You know, right now I crucial time for them for this revenue.
Okay. Well, of course, it's good. It's a good move for engage.
Businesses and other institutions.
People that are in the financial sector. One, for introduce yourself to them and what's your mission, your style, your goal, and all of that. And also for Yari from the business sector, because there is so much gumbo about the high tax regime, where they make the prices of basic commodities that they go up. Because if me don't pay high tax, how do I recoup my money? From the same business, of course. So at the end of the day, we, the end users, we the consumers, now we the feel the brunt of the high taxes. But for government, it is good for them because they are able to raise the revenue when they need. I think if I say something, the NRA can even say we will exceed with targets because they are overtaxing. And when you overtax, it means your tax regime is not with a human face. Because at the end of the day, if the tax regime is so tough, then it will have a biting effect on the ordinary man in the street, for which the government is raising all those funds. Because the government, they raise all the funds that they for make the government run effectively, for make life better for me and you too. So it never be the reverse. What do you think?
Exactly. Well, it's fair enough. I think say a good step in the first place. You know, in London at the National Procurement Authority, now within the National Revenue Authority. So I want for ensure that the expectation when the president gets in let them down. So engagements and for know the problems that whether they face, I think so they will find solution and try for see how they can adjust this tax business, because everybody did complain about the amount of tax that they pay, and this the fall back now on the consumer them. Because all the I go buy shawarma, what's the amount of money they call, they say this nothing. So they say just how amount they go to NIA.
So you buy or you balance?
I don't mind. They don't give me the receipt already.
Okay, so from that shawarma day, some percentage of tax recommended for NIA. Okay, I think they call it GST or so.
Yes,
GST.
Yes, it is called.
Like that GST, yes. So almost and and that GST the way they go pay, so the spots where they sell, it's not get nothing for lose. Now you when you go buy, now you when you go buy. Now you they pay that tax day.
They pay that tax day
for buying. So now it becomes a crime for them you go buy shawarma. It becomes a crime because you are paying.
And I just few
for buying it.
They give that receipt, like Crown Bakery, you get
attention.
Most of the ones
they not get boku machine there. Now the machine is not boku. The machine is not boku. So boku man they get away with them.
Exactly.
Yeah, and some man they sell past Crown Bakery. You got some side where they say they sell past Crown Bakery, but they put sell past the Crown Bakery them because they are more formalized, right? And and they are making huge money per day. So imagine government they get tax per even shawarma.
One piece chicken or you buy.
You buy chicken self now, you pay tax?
Yes.
It's serious, Dana. This is serious.
Anyway, so we'll move on to the main discussion for today.
Okay.
The 2023-2024 school year don't start today. School begin, they don't begin for go school back. And we see the one that will just go from one this morning. You see the anxiety for them.
Okay.
When they egg the bag, so neat, clean, you know.
You're
they
right.
go now and go see what the future holds for them.
I know, you're right. You're right. So, you know, we're going to take some time on this because we need to talk about education. And when we talk about education, Lord, bear in mind that there are so many dropouts around who are left on their own. No avenue there for go for let embark on skills training, at least let the possible land for let able for able for live your own life. Right? They call them how they call themselves when you able to cater for yourself, self-reliant. For let somebody self-reliant, be self-reliant, you able go do carpentry, you able go do other skills then. But our youths are out there in the streets with no opportunity for skills. Our girls are out there with no opportunity except to look for their own means. Therefore, they choose. For the girls, they go into prostitution, unfortunately. And for the boys, they either go into criminal acts or they go into drug abuse. So anyway, there is a public notice from the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education dated the 1st of September 2023. Public notice. It said all heads of schools, district stakeholders, and the general public are reminded that the dates for the reopening of schools for the 2023-2024 academic year is 4th September 2023 as it was stated prior to the closure of schools last academic year. Therefore, all and sundry are encouraged to be in preparedness for our pupils to attend school on the day of reopening and every other day. I count on your usual support whilst thanking you for your anticipated cooperation. Signed, Deputy Director, Education. What do you say about this? This come out on the 1st of September, when they say that they ask all school management teachers to prepare.
Not just reminder.
Okay,
information already we don't get.
Okay.
So I think it's a good step that you remind them, say they for make themselves available to them at school, because most of the time beginning they go to school, teacher are not in at school. You know, so it go good that especially the one that they go as fresh as them. When you go, they get this induction, they call it? Or orientation.
Orientation, yeah. You can call it orientation, induction. No, you're right. Yes. Induction as well.
Exactly.
Now the same as orientation.
So go through that and you know, but if they go now, they just go on their own. I think it's really bad.
Okay.
But then they also they take into consideration whether they don't the teachers there. I think they get some concern whether they raise. Say before school opening, they for don't on a lecture.
Oh no, the lecturers then, Yeah, the teachers they knock out that trouble there now. No more problem.
Yeah, more problem.
No more problem. Let them patient first. At least now we get a situation where in and the teachers then they even recognize them for the good work. Now they get what they call presidential award for teachers.
For teachers.
You see, even now they don't put out nomination, a bid for nomination. So you can nominate anybody. Say, oh, this person I think say could be. For me, a candidate as the best teacher.
Okay, that is a good one.
Yeah. So okay.
So you will talk about the need for tech votes.
Yes.
The dropouts there, because you focus now on the dropouts.
Exactly.
You know.
So make I just do my analysis on this, Diana. Okay. They call a big holiday Because you know, some schools will be locked before the June 24 election. So June, July, right? June, July, August.
About 3 months.
About 3 months closure. So this is a big holiday. That's what I call a big holiday, and it comes after the promotional examination. So today, the 4th of September 2023, schools don't officially open. And we don't read the public notice to the effect. And this is for both public and private schools. And a very good moment, just like what you say, a very good moment for...
for just government school, not private schools.
Not private schools?
No.
Okay, well, I stand to be corrected, and I think you have done that. Well, we need to verify that as well. But,
government school, private
so
school will open on the 12th.
Oh, on the 12th? Oh, I see. Okay, so it means private school that get the new regime.
Yes. They are
I see,
their
okay.
own.
And thank you so much for that correction. So viewers, I also don't get that correction. So the opening of schools for Madam Diana in correction, now just for public schools. And that for private schools, it will be on the 12th.
Most of them, some the 12th or the 11th.
Okay.
Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday.
All right, okay, that's okay, no problem. So now a very good moment for we begin them, we promote to new class or new form. Some man they go school for the first time. Some man they go secondary school for the first time. Some man they go SS, and they migrate from JSS to SS. So it's a very big one for the beginning. And you go see the fanfare when you go to school, the new bags, the new shoes, new uniform, and all that kind of thing. For the one that were repeat, it is normal. That sometimes you don't make it, sometimes you not be well during the exam, or you don't be prepared well, this and that and that. But on behalf of TDN Africa Media, we want to say congratulations to all the Pekin, be it in primary or secondary school, we promote to a new class or a new form. We want to say congratulations to all of you. We want to encourage you now for brace up, be more serious for our education. Life is a stage, don't rush it. Don't rush it. You will be crushed along the way. So be focused on your education and make life easy for your parents them. Because life is so difficult now, for the parents them, to an extent that when they talk about reopening of schools, you can imagine the stress when most of them don't go through.
Exactly. You know, you don't buy uniform, you don't buy all the things that the people never go to school. The other one are the most difficult for you now than the lunch for make every day.
Lunch, transportation.
Remember the sausage where people they manage for the picking the people they buy that sausage 7,000 for packet, 10,000. Now sausage don't go over 20,000 for packets. Could you imagine? One egg now 5,000, so man is saying like 6,000, one egg. You know, certain 20,000.
Lot of mercy.
Cheese. The price that just scary. The price that don't shoot up.
So okay.
So just imagine every day you never crack your brain how for manage yourself for later they picking that they carry lunch go to school.
Exactly.
Because what I would advise and come there, no make people go buy it in school. Because just imagine when price don't go up. So what thing they're going to sell get it at school? The quality of the food. So if able to manage for yourself and do small lunch for a like go school.
If you can.
You just get for you don't make you can go school without it, not go with lunch.
Well, are you talking about primary school?
Well, both primary and it's even secondary.
No, but you see,
make food for them.
some parents are not good with that, unfortunately. Some people go to school without lunch. Some people go to school without lunch now. So picking them now one way transport the parents they give them.
The one they
wait for go, when they come back now, okay, they come down now. So it's not easy.
Well, then they all not good.
It's not good.
It's
It
not good
affects
for
the
me.
kids.
You can go school and not get lunch.
Yeah, but it's happening.
This can little plenty.
It is happening, unfortunately.
I don't know of a story, but one people when they go school, then they get lunch. They get man at the school now they get lunch.
Can you imagine?
And eventually pregnant that kid.
Can you imagine?
That case they go court all. They be therefore sentence the kids. That
so you see.
So these are the problems. Where the risks they are involved. When you, especially girl picking them. For boy picking them, then they can lead there for go do other thing.
Okay. So they could say these are tough times.
Exactly.
And for the parents that were together, it's about shared responsibility. The term not pass where woman they left all the agbagi the man.
But you get single mothers then where they take all the responsibility.
You get single mothers then, you get single fathers as well. And me has to go more to the single mothers and know what they go through. It's not easy.
At all.
I know what they are going through. I know what they are going through. And you know, you get a lot of success stories, Dana. So single parent, them and a single mother, they will tell you, say, at map from Pekin, I sell all kinds of sin. The Pekin, you don't go college. Or the Pekin don't go overseas. Through your sweat. What you gonna say about that, Dana? What you gonna say to that kind of mother in there?
There time in life where you all what you for do now for you picking them. Because the girls of woman they not be seen no. They are one for continue for the biggest where all kinds style. Me I always think say you won't tell you still not the past, but when you don't reach certain stage, invest by your picking education. That for be your priority.
Exactly.
Now that for be your focus. But unfortunately, with the same some woman there, if you want to say that woman they nine picking that day, ain't not just care. All the care. Now how you gonna look sweet, how you gonna look good for going streets.
Okay? Thank you, Dana. You talk a very important thing. Invest in your children.
Exactly.
You have to. Right? You have to. And sometimes, Dana, not only your biological picking.
Yeah.
Also invest in the color you want. Sometimes you born away don't die in Pekin or you uncle in a village.
No, not for Pekin, not your relatives.
Exactly.
Because you're very promising Pekin at the community.
Exactly.
If you can invest in education. And the best thing for the Pekin is education.
And that kind of investment today, especially for you, when not in Pekin, because of course we invest for Pekin them, so Pekin themselves at your old age, they say go look after we. That is the essence. Sometimes you get it. Sometimes you don't get it.
At all.
Sometimes by the time they begin to reach the stage now where if it begins to pamper you, you die go. So that is so sad. So sometimes when they do it's not about what comes back to you. It is about start picking in your future and the people that were inside for impact their lives. So I agree with you entirely. You have to invest on your children and whoever you can invest in, because now a worthy venture. It's a worthy venture, especially at times like this when things are so hard. You want the best for your Pekin, but down the neighborhood you see your other man there for every Sunday Pekin in a school they suffer. If you can help, please help them. Don't wait until you are asked. Help them if you can. Don't always want all for your own child. Think about others, because if you want all for your Pekin them, then this other man they're picking them not able for. At the end of the day, just picking them, now then they can stress you picking them. When they sleep so that they don't get time for sleep. They remember say they can teach them. So you see, and then another important thing is that parents they get a hard choice to make between public and private school. Because we all know the free education take away a lot of responsibilities from parents them in government schools or government assisted schools. But in private schools, the private school get a lot of overheads. Take care of operational cost, take care of administrative cost, and all the kind of thing they do. And all the money that come out from the school fees where they pay. So therefore, obviously, the fees can always stay on the high side.
Well, as you rightly say, they have a choice to make. If you don't say you're capable of sending your Pekin to private school, so be it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what you want for see now for letting Pekin be educated, quality education really matters. It's not about free education or free quality education.
All right.
People still question the quality of the free quality education.
You're right.
So these are the sacrifices we talk about.
Okay.
So if you think say private school, and not all private school, you know the private school them where they still maintain the quality.
No.
You know, so if you think, say, you're there in the position and you want for you, that the sacrifice that the way you can make for make you can get quality education.
Okay.
You do it.
Then the other important thing here is that we don't see public examination results coming out. Hardly for let's see a government school top.
Again, this
most of the time, the private schools are the top in examinations. Most of the time, and you parents, despite the cost involved, you want the best for your picking. You know, that's what I say, because it's a free education, so let me say go now. It's okay, when government will pay for me this and that and that, or you know, the kind of thing they do.
But
you see?
But it does, most of the one the way the government, the ministers, them, the top brands, they all picking they go private school. Some month they say the picking school they picking they go to that British international school $5,000.
Can you imagine? And they see now, so each picking when they go to school, they get to come and go to the and it's not a pack.
You know they see there. You know what they see.
You didn't see the beginner's face. You didn't see the beginner's face. They must kind of go. They must kind of pack. The beginner get dedicated videos.
You can say you names them when they beginner they go there. They go there. So
because I say even this woman it says in Biki self the one private school they go I think that will be first area.
Okay.
Now,
no, but it can afford it.
You know.
So
you see. So why do they not believe in real government schools system? That's why the freeness. That's why the freeness, Diana. But it is free. Why don't you send a child there? If it is free, why don't I go there with my own child? You see?
Just always the confidence of other people that say yes. If the Minister of Education picking a good school, no say there's quality now.
That's true, not true. But even for public exams, you didn't even see government school at the first 10. So it is very serious. Anyway, I will do some research. And before the introduction of the free quality education in 2018. And this research was done by UNICEF. UNICEF, now a UN-based organization where they look after picking the welfare, education, and all of that. So I will read what's in the challenges. It talk about the challenges. It says access to quality education, retention, and completion of school remain challenges for children in Sierra Leone. It says these factors are compounded by poverty, gender discrimination, long distances to schools, perceived low value placed on education, then negative social norms and practices such as female genital mutilation, in brackets, it says 86.1%. Then early pregnancy, in brackets, 30% of women are married before age 18. Then teenage pregnancy and unsafe learning environments. The percentage of school age out of school children in primary, junior, and secondary schools is as follows. This one, now picking away for them at primary school, but they are not there. Picking away for them at junior, secondary school, they are not there. And picking away for them at senior, they are not there. The percentage, 18%. Then for primary school, 18% of children. Then junior secondary school, 19%. Then senior secondary school, 36% of the picking away for them at senior secondary school, they are not there. So now I imagine now about how many picking that they drop out from college. How many percent? Could it be 50%? So I go on with the reports. It said due to the many of the factors listed above, many children in Sierra Leone fail to complete primary school or to make the transition from primary to junior secondary school. Completion rates stand at that completion rate that the picking away they go through primary education, they pass, they go through secondary and all of that. So the completion rates, according to this report, is for primary 64%, SSS that are lower school, 44%. The senior secondary, the upper school, 22%. Furthermore, few opportunities exist for alternative education for out-of-school boys and girls. Now they're talking about that skills training of the talk about. When they say out-of-school boys and girls, then I pick it when they drop out of school. So I say, few opportunities exist for alternative education for out-of-school boys and girls, which could help them to acquire functional literacy for sustainable livelihoods and economic empowerment in order to realize their full potential and contribute meaningfully to nation building. So you see that this is very, very important. Then, UNICEF contribution to Sierra Leone, or UNICEF's contribution to the solution. In August 10, 2018, government of Sierra Leone launched a first free quality school education initiative that provides free admission and tuition to all children in government-approved schools. While the initiative is timely and well received, many children are still out of school, at risk of dropping out or not benefiting from this initiative, as they live in remote rural communities where there are no schools, or schools are yet to be approved by the government to qualify for the free quality school education. Furthermore, due to high and persistent levels of poverty, parents are unable to pay the direct and indirect cost of education, even with the free quality initiative. You know the indirect cost. The indirect cost. Right? So he said UNICEF has provided, so UNICEF has been providing technical and financial support to the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education and partners to address the educational needs of vulnerable out-of-school children through a community-based school enrollment drive, provision of school materials such as uniforms, bags, shoes, learning materials, etc., and support the bridge program to prepare girls who are out of school, including pregnant girls and lactating adolescent mothers, to re-enter formal school after giving birth.
So this is really don't explain all the problems they will really face in the education sector.
You're right.
And I don't think so we'll get more time for delving into this.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Let people are able to understand this report here, so we need for Fente.
Yeah, you're right. But I want to read something back from the government website. Now from the Ministry of Basic and Senior Education, Sierra Leone. This is from their website. It's a free quality education program is dedicated to the promotion of quality education in the Republic of Sierra Leone. The objective is to address nationwide access to quality pre-primary, primary and secondary school, as well as school level technical and vocational education and training. The goal, now listen to this one, this is very important. The goal is that all children will be able to successfully complete basic education and be prepared to move on to pursue higher education or training as appropriate for the workforce needed for national development. Free quality education ensures that all core costs for formal and non-formal school education are covered by the government of Sierra Leone and requires parents, guardians to take responsibility for ancillary costs according to the ability to pay.
So the ancillary costs.
So yes, but the ancillary costs, these are the extra costs. Because it talks about the core cost but you not itemize them.
Yeah.
Because I remember one time during a campaign where Prince Harding or one of the government functionaries will go on a radio for go talk about the free education. He said they will begin to provide the Pekin with uniform, belts, even belts. He said they will give the Pekin belts, they will give them shoes, they will give them shoes. Even socks, even socks. They say socks, they will give the Pekin them. Right? Then they will provide school buses for the Pekin them. These are all the core costs where for make the freeness of the free quality education be felt. So these are the situation.
And that's not happening presently. They therefore buy the belts, they therefore buy the beginners. Every single thing they therefore buy them.
Yeah. But that's the other side of it. Well, perhaps we will see a process. I'm not saying the free because the 5 years soon now from 2018. So at least this process has to graduate into a more sustainable intervention. Because the government need to invest in the human capacity. With human capacity, human capital development very crucial. And
that was his priority.
Yeah, exactly. Now, one of the side another person maybe say in the emphasize on, right? You get a situation wherein we human capital is on a question because of limited opportunities. Now, if them foreign embassies do not intervene for good picking a scholarship, for go study in China, for go study in America, England, this and that, we'll all be here, even with doctors then, for give them advanced training. You doctors, once you go fetch for yourself, I don't believe doctors now when they come, they don't just work for governments. They also they work on other side because they have to live, and they get their own private hospitals then because they are investing on themselves. Government now the responsibility for invest in with human capital. Not don't just wait until people invest in themselves and you want for campaign and cheap. They will not accept them. They will not accept the offer. That's why I have a lot of brain drain. People that prefer say, what are they go to a salon? One will go work in America, inside 2 years. What's that to work in America inside 2 years? So inside salon and then 15, 20 years are going to work for. So you see the point? Okay, so people prefer to go out there.
It's not really easy because they think of what they will take home at the end of the day.
Exactly, and if crucial.
I will sustain the family.
And if crucial.
You know, all that they take into consideration. I mean, they prefer the left salon.
Of course, when
you know, left the country.
Yeah.
We will not get time more for this issue. But I'll go quickly to this engagement of the US government.
Yeah, well, of course, the government said they want for all good engagement with the US government over this visa ban. Already, the US government don't make a clear say for go attend the United Nations General Assembly. Whatever president below the government, if a boss where do you forget the ban, it will get what they call visa waiver. That they will ban, then they will ban, they will waive the ban. But when you go, you come, then the ban get back in effect. And if you have a left now for go attend any other function, they will say we are very sorry.
Okay.
We are very sorry.
So the government want for
the government is not happy about this ban
at all.
It's not happy. It's
because
feeling.
I don't know, but I don't see information. They float around. Say even President Bill, if you go the UN from the airports to the UN, and if they know more.
Never go.
That's why I know. They say they never go with a lot of delegation. Cut on the delegation. That kind of information.
That is the information you have.
Yeah, how true is it? We don't know.
Okay, but who will eventually?
Now they say there's going to be a lot of restriction. From the airport to the UN building, out the speculation when they go out there.
No, but may not be so good. You know, go text that panel like say now, that will be very unfair. Mr. Go vex.
Anyway, but we want to really engage.
So, but the thing is that the US government will not make their position clear already. So, where is the government of Sierra Leone going to start the discussion?
The first thing, then they put pressure on Colonel Hills.
No, government not going to put pressure on Kone. Kone and government are working as one force.
Well, that is the first issue they need to address.
They are finding it difficult to address it. Even when now, other people are not following Diana.
God.
The freedom of information. That's something they don't know. Hey, Allah.
Anyway, we'll talk about that.
There's somebody don't know that now. So what is going to happen? I don't know.
We don't know. So this discussion, I think, say, we hopefully understand this engagement. That will see what it will be.
So I think for find out today from the Freedom of Information Commission whether the ECSL has complied.
Okay. So we find a discussion on the President Bill left yesterday. He left for Nairobi for the Africa Climate Summit in Nairobi. He joined other leaders in solidarity for global climate action. So we got the invitation of the Kenyan President, William Ruto.
Yeah.
So now the invitation of the host, His Excellency President Dr. William Ruto. I remember whenever they do the inauguration of Ruto, they say they don't invite President Bill because William Ruto not even surprised.
What happened?
You know, but now you see he has invited him.
Yeah, exactly.
He is the host.
No, what happened? Now the protocol, now the blunder. Because
blunder on whose part? Our part.
On our part.
Exactly.
Then the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or even the embassy. The embassy day. Before them go days ahead, forgot to say President Bill will be here. Yes. So they cannot include in them. So what now the names he now begin look around. For say, hey, look this one down there, look down there, look this one down there. That's what you do. Now what's in there before him? Nine read. So later on, and then they go so, I say, boy, I'm very sorry, boy. Anyway, you know, it's you.
So
anyway,
I think we hope that the discussion on this climate summit will be very useful for the African continent.
Exactly. And we go give viewers the details on that. For now, we just turn about say President Bill left yesterday for going to Kenya for go attend this very important summit ready for those climate change. And SALONE, now one country we're very prone to the harshest effect of climate change. And with President establish a whole ministry for the environment and also open a whole directorate for climate change. Who said climate change and all the kinds of day. So I think Canada is a part of the delegation.
Hopefully, somebody say the title or the job title when they have a designation for dissertation topic.
Oh yeah, not true. That is not true. I agree with you.
I don't understand this.
I agree with you. That's why
this title. I said, could you imagine it?
Yes, and now by God, if you get leverage for appoint your for recruit your staff them.
Okay.
But now we see they don't appoint rice experts. And now in office they go put them back. Anyway, so we'll talk next edition we'll talk about the rice experts.
Okay then. Alright, so that's what we're coming to the end of the program today, Salon Talk on TDN Africa Media. Thanks for your time. We hope for joining you again on Wednesday. Till then, have a blessed day. And
me that Theophilus Gbenda, the Tona, thank you for always tuning. Go on our Facebook page, TDN Africa Media. You'll see all the details there. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you to the technical man at the studio and Tijan Bangura, and thank you to the CEO and all the staff members of TDN.